have professional horsewoman Sarah Rivers and super select Joe Sudden, probably the only, he might possibly be the only living son of Sudden Impulse that is still showing. I'm not certain, but it's possible. Okay, so Sarah's going to demonstrate with Joe. I'm going to kind of walk through the pattern for you real quick and just show you where I would like to see it placed. I'm going to tell you where Scott obviously put the cone, and then he gave me one other direction. Other than that, I'm just going to give you advice as to where I would like to see the pattern placed. Obviously, you need to put it in the best situation, put your horse in the best situation to exhibit it the best. So for instance, in your arc, if you want to go a little larger, go a little larger. There's no rules there. Okay, I'm just going to show you kind of what's going through my mind. And Sarah and I have not practiced this together, so it's also to help her kind of see what I have in my head, even though we did talk about it for a second. So the cone is going to be 25 foot in the arena, and then 40 foot to the right. Okay, he didn't really give me a measurement off of the wall. He just said 25 foot up, 40 foot to the right. And when Chad and I looked at it, we're basically even with that Terry Bradshaw symbol that's on the sponsor sign. And it looked to me like he was probably 15, 20 feet in off of that, okay? And Chad's gonna be the one that's setting the cone. So for me, when I walk in, I wanna kind of follow the wall and find myself a straight line. Obviously, I'm going up, I'm gonna stop on the center line. So for me right now, I'm aimed kind of at the AQHA symbol that's down there on the wall. I know you can't see it from here, maybe ever so slightly to the right. I want to stop just a little bit before this cone. Don't worry if you're a little close to it as you pass it. Just make sure, obviously, you don't run it over, right? And I like to start just a little bit back personally. If you're standing at the cone, great. If you're standing just a little bit back here, great. If you're standing all the way back there, the judges probably are not going to love you right now because you're not ready. Okay, so get up here just a little bit behind the cone. Ask your horse to step forward. Up to an extended, I know it says extended jog. We're going to also use, it might not be the right terminology, extended trot. Okay, forward trot, right? I've got a destination. I'm aimed toward the AQHA sign. I want to stop slightly inside of my final line. Okay, the line that takes me home with the simple change. I want to stop just slightly inside of that, and that was Scott's directive. So I'm still on AQHA. I'm kind of feeling it right in this zone. Okay, if I'm a little bit to my right, no problem. But I'm like right on the cue of AQHA. So I stop, I turn 1 1/8 to the left. I'm not as worried about the 1/8. I'm worried about turning 1 and face the red line, right? Just face the wall. Stop, back up 5 to 6 steps. Close, 1 1/2 turns to the right, so I'm going back across the arena. My center comes pretty quick, doesn't it? Okay, so make sure a couple things. You're patient for the middle, but also realize it's not very far out there before you get there. So I'm jogging to my center, cornering left. I'd like to see 3 to 4 jog steps for me right here. I want to show the corner. I want to show that you understand you're supposed to continue jogging. And then step into my lope. I know it says extended lope. I want to see you, this is for my riders, I want to see them step into gear and then build their speed. I would prefer to not see a shotgun go off and see you just bolt out of this because things are probably going to go wrong at that point. So step into my lope, increase my speed. I like to show it off a little bit, so I want a little more size than some people. Okay, I'm coming down to the Adequan sign. If I were, if I got to use the whole arena, I'd get down there a lot deeper, but just using half of it, I don't want to get too far down. So I'm in my extended lope. I don't really ever use a measurement of how far off the wall I want to be. My advice to people is if you're sitting kind of where Melissa and where Val and you're in the judges section, I want to make sure they do not have to lean forward to see all 4 feet from your horse. That's how wide I want to be. So I feel I'm pretty safe right now. So I'm still in my extended lope, down to my lope, probably right on the edge of the adequate sign. If you feel you need a little bit more, that's your choice. You can come down a little bit sooner. I certainly wouldn't be slowing down way back there. Okay, so my advice again to my clients is slow down with enough time that you have your horse underneath you for your jog transition for your simple change. Don't jam this up. So I'm down to my lope. Right about here, I'm down to my jog. I like a simple change to be when the horse is loping off on the new lead, when their head is even with the marker. That's just me, okay? Yes, Lee. I know the lines aren't even, I know. But you know what the beauty is in horsemanship? Luckily, this isn't showmanship where it's so integral, right? At least in the horsemanship and the AQHA, you can kind of use the force a little bit and just be close, right? Just be close. So it is close. That's a very valid point. And especially when those judges are looking like they have no clue where this line is, right? So you've got to go off of the one over there. As long as you're within a range of a stride or two, I think you're golden. I don't think anyone's going to bother that. So that's a great point. So for me, I'm still going to use this particular marker because obviously I can see it better, okay? So I'm down to my jog. In the rule book, has anyone ever figured out where this dang rule is about what a simple lead changes is? It's actually in the horsemanship description. Simple lead change is a break to a walk or jog for 2 to 3 strides. There has been some discussion in the barn, I know, amongst some of the professionals. Well, are the judges being told that a walk is better? No, they are not being told that a walk is better. Do what fits your horse, okay? We had a horse in the equitation that doesn't break to the jog well. We chose to break to the walk for that class because it fit that horse better in that class. And then back in the horsemanship, it does break to the jog better. So we went with that. Pick whichever one works for you. Break to the walk or jog for 2 to 3 strides. That means if you're on a younger horse, 2 to 3 strides, you get up to 6 steps, guys. That's a lot of time. And you will not be penalized for taking 6 steps. Okay? So don't be afraid. I want to feel them jog underneath of me, get in rhythm with my horse, loping back off. I had something else that went through my head, but I can't remember what it is, so it must not have been that important. So now I'm on my right lead. I'm just continuing down the arena all the way till I'm even with my cone. If you want to look for your cone, that's your choice. I do not recommend it, okay? Keep looking ahead, get close. Val, can you see from there exactly where the cone is over here? As long as I'm close, right? If I stop now, you know I'm early, okay? But continuing down the pen, don't let the wall intimidate you. I'm stopping about my horse's head even with AQHA. Okay, don't let the wall intimidate you and do a bending line here. If your horse starts to turn away from it, say whoa and get the heck out. Be a smart showman. Okay, so I walked through it. Do I have any questions after walking it? And then we'll see Sarah go through and let us see it demonstrated on Grandpa Joe. What are you pointing at, John? Oh, yep, sorry, you're way down there on me. No, let me get down there where I can hear you better. Okay, so her question was the trot goes past the center line on the drawing. How far? It does say jog to the center, does it not? I believe the words say jog to the center. Okay, so go for the words, guys. The words say jog to the center. Now, if you're a little long, are they going to know? No, if you're a stride long. If you go 3/4 of the way across, we've got a problem. Okay, any more questions? All right, Sarah. So good approach, like she used her wall and kind of just followed her wall, found her line. I'm assuming the judges will have a flag. How fast do we want to go? It's your call, guys. Okay? You show off your horse. What best shows off your horse? So I'd love to see a little stronger trot right now, but maybe that's all Joe has today. Really a good spot, though. I like the spot a lot. Very accurate on her pivot. Flowed nicely into the backup. And then Flowed real nice into that spin as well. We're going to talk about that just in 1 second, what I saw and what I liked out of it. Good timing. She showed me that she could jog a straight line and then stepped into gear. So I feel that's a little high for me, okay? I'm going to have her, keep going, Sarah. I'm going to have her show you just a little bit less of a line right there. Good timing on my slowdown. Her line for me could be a little closer to the wall right now, maybe about 5 foot. Okay, but a good stop spot. So everything about that really, really accurate, and I like that. Like, go for accuracy first, degree of difficulty second, okay? What I liked here about her stop to her spin, to her backup to her spin, it was fairly seamless. So she stopped. She didn't rush her spin. She flowed nicely into it. She closed it. She stepped quietly into a nice cadence yielding backup. She hesitated into a spin. She stepped forward into some motion into a jog. So all that was seamless. For me, I like that. If your horse is anxious, maybe you need to stop and shut it down. If you spin faster than, molasses and you need to chill for a second, spin and say, whoa, and then step forward. So one thing I want to change, Sarah, is go a little bit less down your pen and just go ahead and start and show them that beginning again. And I'm going to block you on the arc, okay? Okay, so she's headed right to that AQHA sign. Notice she didn't look for her line. She knew where her center was and she trusted herself. Again, a good stop spot. She's out there in the open for the judges to see her. Probably overturned a half a step, which affected her backup, not a huge deal. So her center is going to come a little quicker now. And to me, right there, when she cornered, she's dead center of the pen. So just stay inside of me. And building to her gallop, and let this pull you to the wall about another 5 feet. I like that line better for me visually, okay? Joe got ahead of her a little bit on her simple change, but she kind of just went with what was going on and made sure she loped off as soft as she could. So the more control you have of your jog right there, probably the better transition you're going to have back up to your lope. And again, I don't know that she's exactly even with the cone, but she's pretty dang close. Okay, it's close enough the judges right there are not going to know, I promise you. Okay, any questions? Shannon, you have a question? You're waving your hand. Oh, you want to donate money? Oh, okay. Well, Russ is right behind you. Yeah, perfect. And if there are any questions, feel free you can find me tomorrow sometime. Ask me any questions about it. Ask any of the other professional horsemen and horsewomen that are here. I'm sure any of them will be willing to help you. And if not, thank you for your time and good luck. I guess this first level 2 shows on Monday, right? I think so. Good luck on Monday. Yes, go ahead.